Hey everybody, it's your bro Luke Feast, back at you with another music tutorial. Today, I'm going to go into a guitar lesson for beginners. I was just thinking of video ideas, and I thought this would be a cool original way to kind of try something new for my channel. And maybe you could learn something as well. So let's just get into this. How to play guitar, where to start. Alright. So before we get into the guitar and playing it, we have to understand the notes on a scale. There are 7 different notes on a scale, and that goes from A to G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And in between those notes, there's sharps and flats in most of them. Except for B to C, there's no sharp for B to C, it just goes from B to C. You won't have to worry about that right now. Let's just focus on the 7 different chords, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. A is the lowest note on the octave. A is this note. And then B would be, and you can see it's going higher, but that's on a different octave. A, B, and then C, and then D, E. So you can see the note gets higher as a harmony or whatever. Now that we know what the notes are and what they mean, I'm going to get into working on the strings and the frets. I'm going to zoom in. There we are, zoomed in. Maybe I'll go even further in. So there's 6 different strings on the guitar. Low E string. There's the A string, D string, the G string, the B string, and then the high E string. Those are the strings on the guitar, and those are the notes that are played when you strum those strings. Now these are frets. So if you go to the E string, that's obviously an E note, and play it. But if you go press, let's say, this string, it's going to play the next note up. So E, F, F sharp, and G. There is no E sharp. So each string you play after the E goes up a note. G. And remember, there's no H string. G sharp, and then A. And then it repeats the octave. Now that we understand the strings and the frets, I'm going to get onto some open chords you can use. I'm going to zoom back in again so you can see what I'm working with. Woo! So here's the guitar. The moment you all been waiting for, the chords you can play. As you know, the A note is a thing. You can also do chords. A chord, if you don't already know, is a combination of notes resonating to a certain frequency of a note. And this is the A chord. Actually, before I talk about A chord, we can talk about tablature. Tablature is pretty much a graph of the guitar telling you where to put your fingers. The A chord on tablature would be 0 on E, because you're not putting a finger on that string. 0 on D. And then you put your finger on the 2nd fret on the D string. And then you put your middle finger on the G string on the 2nd fret. And then your ring finger goes on the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you play that, it gives an A sound, an A chord. I'm going to get on to the E chord. Now we know the A chord, and it's pretty simple. You put all your fingers down. If you want to play the E chord, that's a little more complicated, but it's not too hard. So if you want to play an E chord, you put your pointer finger on the G string on the 1st fret. And then your middle finger goes on A string on the 2nd fret, and your ring finger goes on the D string on the 2nd fret, and that makes an E chord. There's also the D chord. You can put your pointer finger on the 2nd fret on the G string, and you can use your middle finger on the high E string on the 2nd fret, and your ring finger can go on the B string on the 3rd fret. So that's how you do a D chord. And you can try not to strum the E note, because usually that doesn't resonate well with the D chord. And those are a couple open chords. Those are the only open chords that I'm going to present. If you're starting out, it's good to just focus on a couple of chords and get good at them. And if you're really new to guitar and you're just learning for the first time, your fingers probably won't have a lot of calluses on them and you won't be able to press down the strings in that same way. And it takes a lot of practice to be able to push down the strings and move to where you want to go. Now, I'm going to get on to power chords and how you can use that for songs. Now we got into the open chords like E and D, and those are at the end of the fret right here, where you just play it on like or generally the first 3 frets. So those are usually for maybe acoustic sounds. As we know, that's the E chord right here. You can also make an E chord by just pressing these 3 notes right here. It gets more of like a rock sound. Like, I use power chords a lot in my own songs. It's more of a punk rock vibe, I guess. It depends on what you're going for. The cool thing about power chords is you can use them all over the fret. So this is out of tune, isn't it? Powery power chord. You can also go up the fret. So let's say you want to make an F power chord. You put your finger on this first fret on the low E string, and then you can put your ring finger on the 3rd fret on the D string and A string. So now you just got, so it's just those 3 strings that we're playing, but there's a lot of songs that use power chords. I don't know, like American Idiot. So that is it. Thank you for watching that video. We have animation tutorials, media tutorials, tunes, films, and music. So stay tuned and have a great day.